Chainsaw Man. I love...
What a bitch.
That dude. Katana Man's new personality is growing on me. Despite the fact that I never... I guess I should go back to part 1 and see if he acted like this, but I never saw it coming. But I do... I like our number 1 sushi defender over here. What's your take on sushi, Vex?
I'm not a fan of sushi, really. I'm not a big seafood-ish person in general, so it kind of doesn't really resonate with my autistic tastes.
Yeah, Mr. Nuggies and lemon pepper over here.
There's comfort food and then there's trash comfort food. You can find Nuggies anywhere.
Do you know what man fucking... Like, and by the way, waste of fucking money. Man, every time I was hanging out with him back in the golden era of our channel, where I'd like come over and film skits every week, he would Uber Eats or Grubhub flavorless, sauceless, boneless wings from Buffalo Wild Wings, and then just shake a bunch of lemon pepper on it. And that
actually, there's lemon pepper dry rub, so I didn't even have to put anything in there. It's just literally, it's dry rubbed in that.
I swear to God, there was times, maybe before you do that, I swear to God, there was a time where you would just get their boneless wings with nothing on it.
No, they just never put the fucking dry rub on. I'm like, I'm not dealing with fucking Grubhub or Uber Eats. I'm just like, I got lemon pepper here. Boom.
That's so funny. Well, anyway, this chapter, I really, really like it, and
at least something was going on here to advance like our characters a bit, right?
We have a new rule, and it's we each of us only get one mention of how short the chapter is per video, and then we can't say it again. So
watch how long that lasts.
No, I'm going to use mine one right now. Despite how short the chapter is, fire. I'm eating. You gave me a filet mignon, but it's a filet mignon for ants, but it's excellent.
It's a filet mignon for ants.
So this okay. This is reminding me how much, like I've said this, a consistent through line for me is how much I love Asa. Asa's amazing. Right. I fucking love her. My autistic, femcel, girl failure queen. I love her.
Girl failure. Is she really a girl failure?
Absolutely. And maybe not anymore. Not anymore. We've been watching the transition of a girl failure becoming a girl boss. But you remember how she began? She was quintessential girl failure. Everyone at school hated her. She tripped and crushed Bucky. You know, she
oh no, the chicken devil. Who cares?
Everyone cared other than her.
It's fucking dinner. You cook that bitch up.
Yeah. Vex, are you really denying that Asa in the beginning of this was a girl failure?
No, I wouldn't say girl failure. I mean, like, suicidal girl queen, right? Like, literally willing to die at any given moment.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like the girl failure kind of comes from that, like, that side of her that, like, trips at inopportune times. Mm-hmm. It's, like, and it's always inopportune times. Like, if she ever got, like, fucking, you ever watch Black Mirror?
I watched a bit of it, yeah.
There's an episode where someone like blackmails someone into like robbing banks for that, or not just robbing. It's like they're doing like a bunch of bullshit. It's like we have video of you like jerking it to child porn, so now you have to do everything we say, otherwise we'll release that to the cops or whatever, or just release that out in general. So there's an episode. It's called something. It's something like it's like dance or something. It's like Dance for Me Monkey type of shit. And there's a part where they have to, like, go and fucking rob a bank. And I don't know why. Don't ask me why this is the first example I thought of, but I'm just imagining, like, Asa robbing a bank, and then, like, she's got this sack of money, and she like, exits the door and just, boom! Just trips, and the money spills everywhere. That's why she's a girl failure, because that is, like, genetically coded into her to trip at the most inopportune times. Oh my god, yes. It just like the fucking last couple chapters where they were coming in and she tripped to the facility. So yeah. Good. But anyway,
it's crazy. Like she really is like built into that.
Oh, now like she has one less arm, so she can't catch herself. She's like fucking that dude, the kid from Undertale. There's like a monster kid from Undertale who constantly is tripping, but he has no arms. So he's just constantly like on his face. That's one less. She doesn't have any arms to catch herself. She's gonna fucking always hit her head.
And she's going to be killing herself and her family due to CTE, like an NFL player, right?
Mm-hmm. I'm sorry. I missed your dark, edgy joke. Yes, good one. I really wasn't trying to be a slight. I was just reading the chapter. Okay. The other thing, so like what I love about this chapter is it gives like, in one chapter, it gives the essence of what I love about Asa, right? She's a person who's genuinely trying to care, but she has a hard time with socializing because she's autistic. And she also, it reminds me of one of my favorite parts of Asa, which is, and it kind of calls back to this, during the aquarium arc, we got to see, we were just talking about your autism food icks. Asa's got some autism food icks, hardcore.
Oh, yeah.
I will never get over the part where it's like, they're like, all right, we can survive, we can grill up the fish in the aquarium, we won't die of hunger at least. So then she's like, I can't eat fish. And they're like, oh my God, are you allergic? Oh, what are we going to do? And she's like, nah, I just don't like it. And then God gave her that dirty fucking look.
I was like, yeah, I understand, Asa.
I'd literally rather die.
I would literally rather die. Let the fishy swim.
And this is so sweet because, like, she really does have it kind of down. She's down a little bad for Denji, and I get it, by the way, because not only, Denji's got a bit of a dopish charm, but now that he's Chainsaw Man, he's got that Spider-Man charm. You know what I mean? Like, ooh,
right.
he's a mysterious hero. So, like, her little fucking teen girl heart is, like, throb. She's got that Twilight shit going on right now. Like, oh, he's my own little fucking Edward.
Ugh.
Yeah, but you absolutely know. Like, remember her? She's the type that would read that shit. Remember she wrote poetry and shit?
Yeah.
Her ass is like, oh my God.
Her bookmarks on AO3 are just out of this world.
A half devil. Yes. She's a fanfic reader and writer for sure. In fact, her poetry was kind of like a Chainsaw Man self-insert with her fanfic, if you think about it. Oh my God. But anyway, so it's cute to see how down bad she has it, and I'm also obsessed with the Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde thing where they're like switching back and forth because, and people pointed out on Twitter that like every time she sees Denji in a sufficient amount of pain, she forces control back from Yoru. And I really like that. Like Yoru's stomping on his balls, and then he's like, Nayuta, and then she sees that he's in pain and turns back, and she's like, what happened? And then same thing over here when she sees him digging through the rubble, she turns back and she literally tries to comfort him. And like, I mean, it's like one of the most nice things I've ever seen anyone in manga say, where it's just like, anything I can do, let me know, I'll help. But unfortunately, Denji doesn't understand. They haven't explained the whole Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde thing, so he just thinks she's like a bipolar crazy bitch. Yeah. You were just stomping on my nutsack 10 minutes ago. You don't get to be fucking like, ooh, well,
Let me help you. Let me help you cope with the loss of your like infant daughter thing that is also like the whole cause of like 95% of your original pain.
That is also one of the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse, yes. Oh no. Bro, I'm worried Nayuta's gonna like join the side of the Death Devil and be like, fuck it, like actually humanity should die because Denji doesn't love me anymore or some shit.
Yeah, I mean, it would fall in line with Fujimoto too, like, everything sucks, so fuck it.
Yeah, that ultimate pessimism is very, very in line with like the writing of Rick and Morty.
Yeah, I mean, there's clearly some influence taken from Rick and Morty in some of his earlier works too. So
I wonder. Yeah, for sure, because he's a South Park fan. There's no doubt he's watching Rick and Morty. Oh my God!
I wonder what he thinks about Rick and Morty getting an anime.
I thought you were gonna say, I wonder what he thinks about the Justin Roiland drama. What does Fujimoto think about the Justin Roiland drama? And he's like, I don't get it. In Japan, you can sex with minors whenever you want.
Japan. Why? Why are you this way?
Yeah, it's unfortunate. Hopefully they'll catch up at some point. But I mean, to be fair though, we can't shit on we shouldn't shit on Japan too bad because there are states in like America where you can like marry your 17-year-old like cousin and shit.
There's fucking states where like with parents' consent you can marry as early as 13.
Exactly. So I mean, it's every country's got their yikesy shit.
Yeah, but like they just moved from like floppy disks to USBs.
In Japan?
And the only reason,
really?
For like primary
I always thought they were
data
technologically
storage.
like way ahead of us.
For data, not so much. The only reason I know about this is because I somehow ended up back on fucking wrestling Twitter, and they lost the fucking flash drive that had all of the member accounts data on them for New Japan Pro Wrestling.
Oh, that's so funny to imagine. It's like not on like a fucking like
it's not on a server.
It's just on like
a fucking flash drive around some intern's neck.
Yeah, do you think so? With a site like Pornhub, is it like run like every country's Pornhub run from one location, or does every country run their own Pornhub so they can like block and censor what they deem bad, you know? Like Pornhub in fucking North Korea, which definitely doesn't exist. Well, maybe just for Kim Jong. Kim Jong gets to use Pornhub in North Korea.
He's definitely on like sister porn.
Yeah, man, when you have a sister that's smoking.
But like, I know they just outright won't allow you to access it in fucking Texas.
Yeah. Well, what I was trying to imagine is like, imagine like all of the user data for Pornhub in like a big old flash drive around someone's neck.
It's gotta be one of those like janky ass. Is it really a terabyte or is it really like an 8 gigabyte hard or flash drive? That's
I have
rewriting
all of your kinks in the palm of my hand. I could release it at any point.
Yeah, that's that's honestly like scary to think about from like an IT perspective, like how much user data is just lost if something like that would happen.
For me, one of the reasons, there was a point when I was a lot more confident that I was genuinely like, I want to run for something one day, but a big reason I can't is because my dumbass just uses my full name for every account. Basically, I either use Red Alex 3 or just Red Alexander, my full ass legal name. So like my Reddit account, you can just go on the history and find like, oh damn, he's subscribed to r/Neterer. He's, you know what that is, right?
Oh god, you're on the NTR.
NTR hentai is always fucking amazing. I don't care what anyone says. It's not like, to me, and this is there's no way to defend this without sounding like cuck. I don't want to get cucked in real life. That'd be heartbreaking. But something about it in hentai is hot because it's always the ones where it's like, I like the hentai where like a girl will like throw away their like their amazing husband that like treats them great for like a dick that's bigger. It's just, those are some good hentais, you know.
Cock.
Sure. Yeah. But I don't want that to happen to me. Well, here's the thing. I'm the biggest dick Allie's ever had, so we don't got to worry about that. She's told me, okay? So.
No, but like, if you look up mine, my gamer tag had been my username for like the longest time. So if you've played with me on Xbox until like 2023, you could find my username anywhere basically. So it's like, oh well, that person has subscribed to like every like non-binary and trans subreddit for the last
years. Yeah, I mean that was the thing with there was like a big meme like years ago. Do you remember Ken Bone? He was like a guy who was like a guy who seemed like overly wholesome, and he was in the audience of like one of those like town halls with a politician. Do you remember, he was like a big kind of chubby dude in like a red sweater. And there was a bunch of memes because he was like, oh, this guy's super wholesome. Look at how wholesome this guy is. And he became a meme. We're talking like 2016 Harambe days memes. Yeah. And then people found his subreddit or found his Reddit account. And he was subscribed to a Reddit account about pregnancy fetish. Like he found like pregnant women super hot. And he like made a comment calling them little human submarines. So like, that's why the Reddit thing would fucking screw me. If I ever got even close to like some position of like power, like a seat in Congress or something, they'd be like, oh shit, man likes cuck porn, man reads hentai, and then they'd find like one hentai out of the thousands where like maybe there's like one, because it's hentai, so there'd be like a character that's like underage, and they'd be like, get him! Get his ass! I'd be fucked. There's no
Canceled
way.
On Twitter immediately.
Yeah, because you dare. Did you see what happened to Vosh?
I didn't see what happened to him this time.
This was months ago, but he had
oh, the goblin porn thing?
No, he had pictures. No, I think it was like hentai with horse cock or something, and they were trying to be like, that's weird. And I'm like, bro, have you seen all those memes where it's like Beast Boy and Raven, it's like turn into a horse? What's weird about that?
No cock like horse cock.
And then anyway, we're getting too in the weeds here, but let's see if there's anything else to talk about here. So the sushi thing I love so much because it's her face at the end of this chapter is some of the cutest she's ever been. Do you agree with me on this little fucking pouty face?
The little pouty face, and then also like how it carries from like 10-11 to 12-13 where like she's got that one state of emotion on there. And then Fammy's just like, maybe he can't fight because he's hungry.
Yeah, Fammy on that fucking, you're not you when you're hungry, have a Snickers, Denji.
And so just like her face of like, what the fuck is wrong with you? But also Denji's stomach's growling too.
I do love that Fammy, that's like Fammy's one rationale. Like it's got to be that, right? Because I imagine Fami is probably always hungry, like that, you know, like unendingly. And what else was I gonna say? I really like because to me, Asa's kind of, she's conflicted. Her autism is conflicting hardcore right now, right? She has clearly got the hots for Denji. She really wants to like make him feel better. She probably as a femcell, she's probably thinking about this in her head, like I want to swoop in while he's depressed and be his like angel that takes him out of it, and then he'll fall in love with me. But then they're like sushi, and she's like fuck. And like there's even a moment where he's like I want sushi, and she's like please anything but that, and then he's like sushi. He like fucking no sushi. So cute. I love this whole chapter so much.
Oh yeah, like I'll use mine. Like it was short, but it was at least substance, right?
Good use of it.
Because like I'm so used to it like being like move 2 squares on the board game kind of thing.
Yeah.
But this actually made our characters, you know, at least have a good heartfelt conversation.
It was an enjoyable read as well. Yeah, like
it gave us a little bit of like that wholesome nature between these two, even though they're like clearly both autistic as hell.
Oh, so good. He writes autism so well. And have you fucked with Dungeon Meshi at all? By the way, Delicious Dungeon. You should check that out.
I read the first volume of it.
Watch the anime on Netflix right now. It's very good. It's made by Studio Trigger, and I know you motherfuckers like Trigger, right? That's like yeah. Kill la Kill Studio. Mm-hmm. Please watch it. It's on Netflix. Just like binge through it all. Laios, the main guy character of that series, is an excellent portrayal of autism. Like, just recently, there was, like, a whole, like, argument between 2 characters where one character would get mad at him for, like, just, like, not reading the room well and, like, always having, like, this dopey smile on your face, and even though I didn't want to talk to you and you didn't pick up on that, and it's like, well, what if you didn't want to talk to me, why didn't you say something? It was so nice. I was like, wow, this is, like, genuine. It was, like, Chainsaw Man levels of, like, autism portrayal. It was very good.
Okay, yeah, I mean, I'll get to that eventually because it is on my list. I read the first volume because it came free back when I had Loot Anime.
Oh, wow.
So I was like 2016, 2017.
It's a cool concept. I'm not sure when it started, but it's a really cool concept. I mean, it literally is like you mix a cooking show with a dungeon, like a D&D dungeon exploring thing, you know, because the idea is we're going to eat these monsters to survive. Because, you know, as we go deeper, we don't have to worry about bringing rations because we're going to cook these monsters. And they come up with, like, ways of, like, eating Dungeon and Dragon monsters that you'd never, like, think of. It's very... And then they take that concept. You think that's going to be it, but then it actually gets dark. It has, like, a dark plot and shit. Like, it's... Like I'm gonna... You know, at Fullmetal Alchemist, like, Edward, when they fucking, like, combined, like, the girl and the fucking dog...
Yeah.
Some shit like that just happened where I am. Okay, like it gets like surprisingly dark, that series.
I've heard it gets really dark because a couple of my friends that stream have been talking about it on Twitter. I'm like, okay, well, where the fuck is it, you know, plot wise right now? And it's like it gets so crazy that like what you just described isn't even how fucked it gets. So I'm like, okay, because I like me some dark fantasy style stuff too. Like I love Berserk. I love like. That aspect of things, I know it's problematic to some people, but like I like Mushoku Tensei.
Oh, I don't know anything about that, but don't derail. It's fine. You can tell me after the video.
But like it, like stuff like that, I've always enjoyed. Like how far can you push the boundaries in like high fantasy?
Oh yeah, they do really interesting stuff about like the lore of like how dungeons work and stuff. It's really interesting. But anyway, back to Chainsaw Man. I really like this line from Asa about, like, you know, when you saved me as Chainsaw Man, you said, I know how you feel. You know how I felt. And I also know how you feel because I have a family member who died directly because of my actions. And I let, that's even more of a connection, right? Because she has the thing where she went to save the cat, tripped, and then her mom died. And then, you know, now he has, obviously Nayuta didn't die, but maybe they think that at this point, right? So... Yeah, I mean, really, motherfucker needs to talk to Kishibe. It's the, like, stat. We need to call up Kishibe and be like, I lost her. I lost the demon war child. Or not war, control child. I lost her.
Oh, yeah.
Like, what the fuck do you mean you lost her? Wait, I want, like, a conversation between Kishibe and Denji, like the I'm at soup conversation, where he's like, like, where's Nayuta? I can't find her. What do you mean you can't find her? I can't find her. She's a child and she's the control devil. It's like, I can't find her. I lost her.
Get somebody get Code Mint on that now. Like, I miss Purple Eyes. What the fuck, man?
He put out an April Fool's video. Did you watch it?
I did not.
Yeah, it's a new Code Mint too.
Send me, like
that was exactly a month ago. He put it's silly. It's extra silly because it's April Fool's, but I mean it's his
something.
Humor.
It's something.
Yeah,
like,
and it's also got like and it's Purple Eyes, and so you expect this, but it's got like an incredibly racist bit at the very beginning.
Of course it does.
It's so good, bro.
Hey.
Because you know it's good because you know his ass isn't actually racist. You know what I mean? Like it'd be one thing if it was like,
okay, where's the parody here, buddy?
Yeah. Because he's making fun of the guy who's being racist. The joke is at the expense of the racist guy, not the here, hold on, let me.
You know, here, this is just perfect. How broken YouTube is, because I am subscribed to him. I've got the bell rung. I have like every notification for that channel.
I got the notification the day it came out.
I got jack shit.
Yeah.
On April 1st, I got like, okay, Ray uploaded a stream VOD, and so did fucking like Chill Chaos, look, and that was my
Code Met episode 17. Does that get your little butthole puckering? Look at that.
Oh yeah. There's a little twinge in the buttocks there.
So yeah, this has been, by the way, a peak episode of Chainsaw Man review from us.
And you will get another one when there's 2 chapters moving
reviewing
forward.
It in 2 is a good idea. Let's see here. Let's see if there's anything
and
else.
Obviously, like, it's Saturday that Digital Circus comes out.
Friday.
I will try to be able to film Friday.
Sweet.
But it might be Sunday that I can film that.
Okay, sounds good. Let's see if there's anything else. I love, by the way, it's so fucking stupid that they have this, like, whole group just, like, trudging around with them. Because it's super fucking silly that, like, everyone's just waiting to do what they need to do with Chainsaw Man. Like, Fammy's got to prep Chainsaw Man for, like, you know, the Nostradamus shit. You know, Asa is trying to, like, separate Chainsaw Man and Denji so that Yoru can get what they want and Asa can get what they want. Katana Man just wants to kick ass and get a little revenge. They're all just sitting there like, are you done moping yet so we can fight?
Are you all done in your, like, pathetic attempt at romance? Your high school, like, Romeo and Juliet bullshit? Well, one of you won't go out to sushi. Like, I hate coffee. Like,
it's so funny to imagine Katana Man's back there like, just eat so I have shit to do. I run a fucking Yakuza.
Like, literally, I hate coffee, but I'll still go on a coffee date and just get, like, a tea or something, you know, wherever I'm at.
What was actually, I'm trying to remember, when they said something to Katana Man, what they were offering to give him something back? Was it to, like, let him run his, like, Yakuza ring?
Yeah, I believe that's what it was.
So, but now he's said fuck you to the government, so, like, I imagine he's gonna be on the run now forever. Which, by the way, something that Fujimoto's, like, a little bad at is, like, some sense of urgency at times. It's like, bro, they should all be, like, massively wanted by the government, and they're just fucking, like, standing out in broad daylight and no one...
Well, I mean, to be fair, you could see the corpses of the Chainsaw Man zombies there.
They're probably a little busy.
They're still, like, mopping up the remaining children. Literal children.
Yeah. Oh, the cult children, bro. So good. Well, yeah, I mean, it's so funny that, like, so you remember, I don't know if you saw it, I think I liked it or retweeted it. Do you remember the, scene from part 1 where they all go out to dinner? This is where, you know, Makima shows up and he's like, oh, and she's like, you're gonna kiss someone? And he's like, no. And she's like, what, you don't want to kiss? Yes. You remember that chapter? It was like one of the first we reviewed.
Yeah, it was like really early on. I think I saw it. Let me just go to your retweets here, because unlike my Twitter, it's easy to go in there and find shit.
Let me make sure I actually liked it. I might have just liked it instead of retweeted it. But it basically they're just saying like that scene where, oh yeah, it's in my likes. It's in my likes.
Okay, that's in your likes.
It's like one down. It's like just the second most recent in my likes.
Yeah, it's literally like the dinner scene.
Yeah, did you find it?
Yep.
It just says next chapter is going to be this scene, but extremely awkward. And it's going to be so funny. They're all sitting around eating sushi, and like they're all just waiting to fucking kill Chainsaw Man. It's just like, are we ready yet?
It's like, who gets first dick kick?
Oh my god, it's so
Katana, Yoru. Who wants to kick him in the dick first this time, everyone?
See, it's interesting because this right here is really good. And like I know earlier in previous chapters I had said I was sick of like the awkward dialogue, the standing around, the doing nothing. But the thing was, previous chapters, it wasn't funny. Like, I don't know what it was, but the shit that was going on in the facility wasn't funny to me. This is now funny. I don't know if maybe he was trying to, maybe his end goal was to try to get them all together, and then he just kind of sloppily got that. But I mean, I really like what's happening now. Like, this is actually pretty funny, and like, it reminds me of the chapters in part 1 where, you know, we're in the middle of this big crazy fight with Makima, and then we have the fucking Kobani working at the burger place shit.
Right.
And I love that.
It had that shades of part 1 in it again, which is what I miss dearly.
Yeah.
I want to continue down this path of like having like some of this, but also obviously like we're not going to hit the level of part 1 again because we are having Chainsaw Man as like this cultural phenomenon right now. So yeah, it's the same thing that we cycle through anime. Like Freyren was this a couple months ago where everybody was talking about getting caught up with the manga, and now it's kind of fallen out of the zeitgeist of like internet culture, right? Because it's the new season of anime or the new season of manga is starting. So we have like that rotate through. But I felt like out of all of the series recently, like Chainsaw Man held on to it for the longest until we hit that dark or that Falling Devil stuff.
I feel like it was peak popular until like, when was the moment it be? It was like post Falling Devil, it started to get really weird, and I, you know, people that were caught up were kind of like not talking about it as much. Yeah, I don't know, and I think also it was like propelled by the anime for a while.
Yep.
But you know, maybe when the Bomb Devil movie is supposed to come out at the end of this year. So that could maybe re-propel it some.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
it could pull it back in, but I don't think we'll ever hit like the level of internet popularity that we had it at originally.
Yeah, that's definitely possible, and that's so unfortunate because, like, you know, I don't know, I do kind of miss when it was like everywhere and it was all anyone could talk about. But I feel like people maybe got a little tired of where part 2 was at, and it lost a bit of that good faith. You know, because for a while, I mean, I think I consider part 1 almost flawless. You know, I think the only flaw in part 1 for me is I think the one arc that got a bit messy was the International Assassins arc.
Yeah, there was too much going on.
There was a little too much going on, and it was a little messy at times. Still good, but every other arc was like perfection.
I put it up there like, and I don't really talk about it a lot, but I put it up there with like the terms of writing and skill put into the story of like Full Metal Alchemist and that kind of thing, where like these are near perfect stories. Put it up there with Monster.
I thought you said Full Metal Alchemist was overrated on Twitter recently. I agree. Full Metal Alchemist is near perfect, but then you came out and said that.
I hate the like it has to remain at the top of my anime list. Shit.
I agree completely, but Vex, remove yourself from the bad fandom. Do not allow I'm so staunch on this. You know this. Don't let a bad fandom ruin a story for you.
But like in terms of like where stories are at now, and how we can tell like a really good story, I think is overrated by today's standards because we have like much better ability to tell more diverse stories now than we did back in that time too. So we could have like a lot more. Do you mean like
the pacing, like how quickly stories can be told?
How quickly and how we can handle a cast, right? Because
I don't know, man. I think Fullmetal Alchemist holds up pretty well. You know,
it holds up well, but like if we look at it through like a modern lens, like there's a lot of the issues of early anime still being in there too.
Like what?
Like, we fucking waste time with the actual, like, 2 different story shit because of how stories were told for anime.
Blood is manga. Waffling, bro. You're just yapping. No, that's not.
But, like, the other thing
Alchemist doesn't waste time.
The other thing that I have, like, a big issue with is, like, near the end game. Like, it's just so, like, almost too tightly written. There's nothing really left open for interpretation.
Listen, Vex, it sounds like maybe you made a statement and then you're locked into it and you're trying to come up with something to be mad about. It's okay.
I think like in that same era of manga, the thing that I loved more was something like Monster, or 20th Century Boys were like 2 of the things that I actually like from that era that I think were better and more concise of the story.
It's possible, yeah. I will say, you know, it just sounds to me, and it's okay, everyone falls into this at times, but it sounds to me like you get a little upsetty when something's like really popular, and like because to me, this happened with me with Demon Slayer. right?
Oh God,
Demon Slayer is like heralded as this amazing thing. Maybe not so much anymore, but it was for a while. And then because it was so popular, I got like angry at it, and then I was like, it fucking sucks. When really it's probably like a 6 out of 10. You know what I mean?
It really is just like a 6 out of 10.
Full Metal Alchemist, I'm assuming you're upset just because of how like it's so popular, and for you it's like, yeah, it's pretty good, but then everyone like ejaculates over it. I'm guessing.
I definitely like hate that aspect of it. Like, people can think something is okay and not find any fault with like the actual like product itself, but feel like there are better stories. But the second you say anything like that, you have a million fucking idiots that shitting down your throat like, it's the perfect story. I'm like, no.
The internet wants so badly to have the only opinions be it's god awful or it's Jesus Christ,
tier,
second
like,
resurrection.
But like Demon Slayer, like it definitely was like that for me as well. Like then I recently sat down and fucking read it, and I'm like, okay, it's just pretty sword fights, the manga.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, for sure.
But like, I do love the animation in it, but Ufotable's always been god tiered animation, you know, because I went and watched a couple of the fight scenes from it because I love watching fight scenes. And obviously, like, the studio that does Fate is going to do great fucking fight scenes as long as they're not CGI. Yeah. But like that, I'm like, it's an okay story. I feel the same way about Kagurabachi. It's an okay story. It's not It's not a godsend to the fucking industry.
I mean, Full Metal Alchemist is like, to me, I think of like that era of anime. Like if you're thinking like what were like the top shit.
It was like Soul Eater.
It was Soul Eater, Full Metal Alchemist. I think there was a lot of people into Hetalia.
Yep. Or on high school, yeah. Which is its own bag of problematic worms.
And I guess I personally really like that kind of subsect. Like, I tend to really like the anime that are like licensed by Square Enix.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like the Soul Eaters, the Hanako is in Yen Press. Like those anime that are like the manga that are like in those offshoot magazines, and they're a little bit more. They're less fully targeted towards like young boys, and they're more targeted towards like anyone, or like the ones that are even maybe targeted towards like young girls. Like the romance is so much better in stories like that than like your typical shonen.
Like I get shit on for enjoying Ancient Mage's Bride, and I'm like, this is one of the most fucking wholesome series on the planet, and y'all just can't enjoy that.
Oh,
like,
I appreciate a good romance between a human and a supernatural being. Like that's why I like Hanako. Yeah. Did you yoink up that fucking Figurama
I
statue?
did not.
Boo!
I did not. Dude, I am trying to get debt free by August. Like
but
I
$40 a month you could have paid, bro.
Yeah, no, I didn't get approved for the payment plan.
What?
I did not get approved for the payment plan for some reason.
I guess that makes sense.
I'm like, I'm not dropping $750 at once.
But you know you want that. You know you want.
Oh yeah, I'm on the wait list for the second wave. Like, because by the time the second wave comes out, I'll be able to fucking just scoop it up.
Fuck yeah! Is there a second wave? I didn't know they did second waves. I always thought
they do sometimes, or if somebody cancels their pre-order, you can get it. So I'm on that as well. But like, I couldn't justify dropping $750 while I don't have a full-time job right now.
You're definitely being intelligent, but the devil on your shoulder, the parasites in your brain.
Yeah, the little Lucy on my shoulder here from Disenchantment was like, do it. I was on the checkout. I'm like, no, I gotta save money till I have full-time employment again. Like, I'm sitting on my last $1,500. I can't drop half of it on a fucking figure.
And why are you homeless today, sir? It's like, well, and it's just you in your little homeless tent clutching your fucking your statue.
I'm literally sleeping in the freight container on the side of the road. Sir, ma'am, what are you? We gotta send you to jail because the Supreme Court made homelessness illegal.
You're transgender and homeless, double jail.
Yeah, prison, execution chamber right now.
Epic. Wow. But at least let me die with my statue.
Okay, we'll just, shoot the fucking statue with you at the firing squad.
No, just like fucking tunk, like just fucking concuss you with the statue.
Literally, that's probably all it would take to kill me at this point. I'm fueled by nothing but estrogen and fucking.
You have thin
Burger
bones
King right now.
Thin little fucking like paper mache skull. Wow.
What an ending.
Yeah, I'm super curious to see how this is, because they've been talking about like, oh, once we fight, you can live an ordinary life, and he's like, no. But I wonder, I don't know, how are they going to do that? I wonder, like, what is their plan to separate them? They haven't really like gone into that, and I'm curious to see what they're going to try to do.
Removal of the heart, maybe. I don't know, but why wouldn't they just like not put the fucking heart back in him while they were in the fucking hospital?
That's why it can't be that. It's got to be. It's probably something that like Fami can do as like a horseman. Like maybe she's got some fucking ritual to do or something. I don't know. Like some shit she knows is like an eldritch, ancient one. I'm curious. I don't know, man. And also, there's like does Denji, because Denji still hasn't figured out where his happiness lies. I don't think he knows if he's happier being Chainsaw Man or if he'd be happier without it, because he lived life without turning into Chainsaw Man for like months, and he was clearly like in a massive depression. So I don't really know. Maybe a relationship with Asa would help him be happy. I mean, I think if he made friends at school, he developed a social life, he'd be a lot more happy. And maybe a barrier to that is having Chainsaw Man within him. You know what I mean? So like, it'd be pretty cool if, I feel like he could find happiness if he got into a relationship with Asa and they like just lived a nice life that way. But I don't know, because like he had his cool life with Nayuta. He didn't really like that, but that was kind of because I don't know if she was like telling him you can't make friends, it's just me, or if it was just the girlfriend Nayuta had a problem with. I don't know.
Yeah, there's a lot that we can do from here. I'm very curious like where the story will progress to after this though, because I feel like we do this like jumbling up thing a bit, so maybe we could have like what the government's plan is now also being told, right? Because obviously they're going to be held responsible for letting that many things happen in that facility too, right?
Yeah, well, so the guy that was supposed to be in charge of them, he got killed by his wife already.
Right.
And then what else? I guess at this point I feel like Kishibe's got to come back at some point and be unless he's fully retired and he's in the Bahamas and he's like, him and Kishibe and Kobani are like chilling in the Bahamas.
Yeah. I mean, at this point, that makes more sense than anything. But like realistically,
Denji fucked up too much. You're my new adopted child, Kobani.
Well, I'll protect you from whatever bullshit devil you have. Just, sit here and sip drinks with me on the beach.
Sloppy blowjob devil?
God, the fandom in that joke went wild.
I mean,
but like literally, it's the shy, awkward girl that gives the best head.
So good.
I really do wonder what the ramifications are, because that's like a top secret facility that housed so many devils, and all of that shit went wrong.
I wonder, did they open up any other things and let any other devils out, or did they just stroll in, get what they needed, and leave? Probably.
That's like the question though, right? Because we saw that like Quan, was out technically. We saw obviously like she works for the government, but like she was out. She had knowledge of something there because she at least knew how to quickly get to the situation. So maybe when she came to after being killed, quote unquote killed, she made sure everything was like clear.
You know what I would enjoy? Oh, that could, maybe. What I would, that's a good point, actually. Maybe they were able to leave so quick because Quan was just mass murdering everyone in the fucking facility. I would like it, because again, Quan was working with them to try to get her girls back. So I would kind of like it if Quan, because I assume her girls would be in this facility, but maybe not. Maybe they'd be smart enough to not put her girls in the facility they were having her work in. But it'd be cool if she just said, all right, fuck you guys, and just like broke her girls out and fucking dipped.
That would be funny. Like, you know what? I got what I wanted. Y'all can do whatever the fuck you want. I know how to live on the lam.
It's been a while since I had a good scissoring sesh with my girls,
Just, well, Cosmo's not there anymore, so don't have to worry about the headworms coming out.
Halloween, this is Halloween.
But, like, literally, I'm just curious. Like, there's so many, like, potential directions we can go into. We got 2 weeks before the next chapter, and then technically maybe a month before the next video, if he does, like, a double 2 weeks. In case
it wasn't out, we said this on Twitter, but we're going to start reviewing chapters 2 and 1. Because that we have more content to fucking bite into, yada yada yada, etc. etc. But in the off weeks, we'll try to do videos and other shit.
And you got like One Piece at least semi back as well. You got the Hunter Girlfriend stuff eventually coming out. We can do like, as long as my schedule permits it, other videos as well. So like you'll have your sustenance.
Sustenance.
You'll have your food. You'll get your Soylent Green of anime trash talk.
I also love. We need to talk about Asa the Drippler over here because we actually have Asa in an outfit that isn't her school outfit for like the first time, one of the first times in the series. I think she dressed as something else for the aquarium date as well. But I mean, it's like one of the only times we see her in a different outfit.
Right?
She's like, actually looking very good.
She is like I've been so used to seeing her in the schoolgirl outfit. I thought that was like really the only other clothes she had.
It's so I'm so into like tomboyish girl failure femcel types, at least in fiction. I know they can be annoying in real life.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's a balance to strike. You know, I really struck because Allie actually used to be a femcel. She told me she had like a whole dark past where she's very embarrassed of, where she was like fuck men, and then she realized that was fucking stupid to have that attitude, and it was really cool to like hear about her like development on that.
Right.
You know.
Yeah, no, like it I mean, technically, like, you kind of had an incel-y past, too, so...
Well, so I feel like I was never, like fuck women about it. I was more... I was so self-deprecating. I was so, like, low self-confidence that if I remember correctly, a lot of my hatred went down on myself, rather. I wasn't like, fuck women for not dating me. I was like,
you weren't,
fuck
like,
myself.
4chan. You weren't 4chan-y about it. You were just more, like, self-deprecating.
I was
like, I'll never get a partner.
Yeah. But what was I gonna say? No, but I swear to God, there's like something so attractive to me about like women like this because they feel like, to me, there is this unfortunate divide in man-woman relations sometimes because a lot of like I actually watched a good TikTok about like how straight people, they treat women like they're different species, right? And it's like, and like when you look at content made for straight men or straight women about their partners, it's done in the sense of like decoding, like here's what it means if your man says this, here's what your girl means when she says that, you know what I'm talking about? And it's like it's done like it's decoding like a cryptid message because they're so bad at communicating. But like when you have a girl like this, to me it feels like ironically they're kind of having the male experience a bit, which is because, you know, usually it's quite easy for a woman to get like sex, just because of how society and the world works. But like
men will fucking send out like a billion fucking like hits on
please,
Twitter, like
please,
please let me stick penis in you.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is like what's so appealing about like the femcelly kind of person in fiction and sometimes in real life, as long as they don't let it make them insane, is that they've also kind of had struggles getting there, and then you can like relate on that. It's like, oh man, you know, like I feel like the really pretty women, and this goes for anyone, not just women, but anyone who can get anything they want with zero challenge, that like breaks their brains a bit and makes them like a little douchey, because you know what I'm saying? If you can just like get anything you want instantly. So like I don't know, I'm trying to like break down
why I like child stars go down like dark paths as well. Like it's the same mentality.
Great point.
But like it's also that way a little bit from the queer community perspective. If you've ever been on Grindr, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Like you can put like no pics, no anything there at first, and you have like a million dick pics flooding your fucking inbox. I'm like, okay, let's make a game out of this kind of thing. And then before I was on Grindr for like a week, it drove me fucking insane. So I started making a game out of it, and I'm like, oh, that's interesting. Maybe you should get that looked at.
You should start being like, you should be like, if you send me your dick pic, I will leak it online.
No, I wasn't going to go down that route. No, I just started fucking with dudes. Like, because, like, I got sick of seeing, like, every variation of what a dick looked like in my DMs. So I just started like, why is that like slightly green down there on the middle of your shaft? And there's nothing green on the picture, and there's just like, oh my god, maybe I caught something from one of my sneaky links on here. I'm like, oh, your sneaky links so your wife doesn't know on you. Here is all of your partner's fucking information.
I spilled the Shrek ketchup from 2002 on my dick, and it never came out. Do you remember the Shrek ketchup? Do you remember the green Shrek ketchup?
Dude.
And the
Shrek ketchup. They had Shrek mayo too. It was like
I have another art request.
Oh god.
It's not a dick related thing, but like Rios, if you're listening, or any other person who can draw, put it on Twitter and we'll put it in the back. If this gets drawn, it will go up in the back next to the buy flag, or maybe like a little below it, I don't know, somewhere where it's totally visible, maybe right next to Vex. I need Denji, squirting that like 2002 Shrek ketchup onto a big plate of fries, because that is the most autistic thing in the world. No, Denji or Asa, honestly, either of them, just like squirting a huge pile of the Shrek ketchup and make the bottle like super visible that it's like the Shrek ketchup. I don't know. I would love that.
God.
If you draw that, that'll go. I'll put that in the back, just like Rios is up in the corner with.
Why though?
Because like, don't you think that's the most autistic thing in the world?
I'm
like,
not arguing
my
with
purple
you.
ketchup.
It's just, why though?
Because don't you feel like Denji and Asa would bond? Like that'd be their date. Their date would be.
The funny thing is, like, timeline wise, is also.
It works. Like, you're right. Shrek is coming out next year in their world.
That's why I'm like, why? Why did we get here? How did we get here, people? What has this content become?
Oh, I'm so excited, bro. Oh my god, please.
Oh man.
Well, so okay, like Allie drew something that is like, I love it to death. It's you know how Mashal, or like Mash from Mashal, is like mega autistic. Mm-hmm. She drew him in a shirt and it says, "Girls love my autistic Riz." And it was really good because he is very autistic. I also kind of want Denji in a shirt that says, "Me and the baddie I got by being autistic" as well. That would be pretty good.
And it's just Asa off to the side. Yeah.
By the way, she's also autistic. They actually both have the shirt that says "Me and the baddie that I got by being autistic," and both the arrows are pointing to the other one.
Beautiful. Like, I'm shocked that doesn't exist on the Chainsaw Man subreddit at this
Autistic
point.
Power couple. I love them so much. I can't wait, bro. They're gonna be
No, but,
eating
like, literally
frozen chicky nuggies and their Shrek ketchup. They're gonna be that's gonna be their wedding is gonna be fucking frozen chicky nuggies and Shrek ketchup, because Shrek will just have come out like 2 years from now.
Yeah, like I wonder though, like in their like universe, will we? And this is just like my brain.
Will we see 9/11? I agree. I've also been wondering.
I wasn't gonna go there, but also that is curious. But no, like, will they have like the Matrix future, or will they have like a realistic future? Right? Because the timeline kind of split, like what we thought the future would be like, and
right.
films
They are
like
in a different world, yeah. Because they, what was I gonna say? They're in like a parallel world because like the fucking Soviet Union still exists and shit.
Yeah, it's kind of like Archer and like a sort of pseudo the things existed, but also they didn't really exist kind of thing. So like, I'm very curious, like if it would be the case, right?
Yeah, that'd be interesting. Anyway, someone's got to say something funny and shocking to end this video.
I've actually expended my shocking humor. Like, I don't know. Like, I kind of want to see the gun devil turn into the jihadist plane devil.
Oh God, I really regret it every time I ask for this.
And with that piece,
if you're in a red state, spay and neuter your wives.